What's up everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're making a cheap versus expensive terrarium build. So I'm starting with the cheap terrarium and I'm just adding some gravel that I washed that I found outside. And now I'm just adding a barrier between the drainage layer and the substrate, so there isn't any substrate accumulating in the drainage layer. And I'm using a piece of plastic instead of a window screen or stainless steel mesh because it's cheap and this terrarium obviously needs to be cheap. Then I'm just adding some dirt or substrate that I also found outside. And then I'm just adding some leaves that I found outside because they will eventually decompose and be eaten by the isopods and other animals that are in the substrate, and I will add in later and turn into fertilization for the moss or plants that I may decide to add. And now I'm just adding a couple of small stones. And then I began adding some moss that I found outside. And the moss I'm using here, I've cut up into small pieces because it stimulates growth and it helps me cover a larger area with less moss. And when I was done with adding moss, I added 3 small pebbles. And you can also see on one of the rocks there that there were some isopods in the moss and maybe in the substrate. But I thought it was looking pretty good, so I decided to just spray the entire terrarium down. But now that we're done with the cheap terrarium, let's just get started on the expensive one. I'm starting by adding this piece of cereal stone that I thought looked nice. Then I'm just adding a piece of spiderwood from a project a long time ago. And it took me some time to get it looking right, but I managed to get it looking good. Then I'm just adding some gravel to the bottom, in the front and behind the cereal stone. And then I just added some sand. The reason I'm adding sand in this enclosure is because I wanted a water area also, so that actually makes it a paludarium, not a terrarium. But it was looking pretty good the hardscape, so I sprayed it down a lot. Then I started to add some sphagnum moss on the stones and in the cracks where I wanted plants and moss. The sphagnum moss helps hold moisture for the plants. Then I just added this little small climbing plant. I think it's a climbing plant anyway. Then I added this little grass thingy. I think it's called something with snake, and it will get much bigger than this. So I'm hoping it will fill out a lot of the back of the Paludarium in a couple of months. Then I added another of the small climbing plants. And then I just added this little aquarium plant, and I don't actually know what it is because I bought it a long time ago and it hasn't been doing so well, but I hope it will do better than this, and I think it's a bulbitis, but I don't know. And then I just added this little hair grass plant that I hope will spread a lot out at the bottom. After that, I just started adding moss all over the place, on the wood and on the stone. Then I just planted this little Swiss cheese plant cutting that I took from the enclosure in the back. I also added this little climbing plant from another terrarium that I just dismantled, and I don't know if it will make it because it's not looking good. But that was pretty much it, so I decided to just start filling it up. I also added some floating plants, both in the front and in the back. And for the cleanup crew, I'm just adding these wild isopods and gray and orange isopods. You can see the big one there is a wild one, and we have the orange isopods and the gray ones. But that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below which one of these two terrariums you think look the best. And I'll see you in the next one.